Hi, everyone. This is Judy, President of NVSHP 2024.
And this is Regini Bhakta, the Treasurer of NVSHP. Welcome to another episode of Better Left Unsaid.
Welcome to Episode 8, titled The Inaugural Address of 2024.
I'm so happy to sit down with you, Judy, and hear what your plans are for NVSHP this year. I mean, you're kind of a taskmaster, so I'm thinking that the entire board is going to be very busy this year. And I mean that in the most loving way.
Of course. Well, let me just start by saying a few words about and describing how my leadership style will work for 2024 for NVSHP. One of the big things that I really strive to do is, with any kind of meetings and in general, is to be organized. So obviously, one of the things with NVSHP, we have a board of directors. And also, one of the things that I like to do is have an inclusive board that will always be able to speak their mind and be able to move Nevada forward with hospital and healthcare issues. So I would say my leadership style really is a collaborative leadership style. And I really enjoy having everybody be part of the team to do that. So I would say being a taskmaster probably not too far from what I'll be doing, but I really do enjoy having that ability to work with the board. I'm very excited for 2024. We have a lot on our agenda, and we will be starting this weekend as we start with our strategic planning meeting. As you know, January 27th, we'll spend a day with the board of directors sitting down and looking at 2024 and just planning out what our goal for 2024 is. One of my things that we have really strived to do is to increase membership. So that'll be part of a big task for NVSHP. And we are not at the level we would like to be at this point, but we're going to do some fun things that will be able to get us some membership.
Yeah, I think NVSHP, and in particular the board of directors this year, we're all really going to benefit from your collaborative style. You also bring a lot of humor. I don't know who else has worked with you before, but anytime Judy's involved, there's a lot of giggling.
As you can tell.
I would say you still feel like you're getting stuff done, but you're also having fun while doing it. So I'm really excited about that. And I think something else that's really exciting at our annual strategic planning meeting is that the folks from Reno, we all get together in one physical location. The new officers get sworn in. So that's kind of exciting as well. The website kind of changes over. So it's a great way, I think, to start the year. Talking about strategic planning, is there anything you can share with us about what our members can look forward to this year?
So as we move forward with strategic planning, one of the big areas that we'll be looking at is our annual meeting. And we're going to be looking at really trying to increase our venue for hospital and healthcare programs that will be happening for our annual meeting. So that's one of the big things we'll be focusing on with our strategic planning. And as I said, membership is a big portion of that. We also are really trying to be inclusive with our residency program. So we have a couple of residents in Reno that will be joining us, and we have some tasks for them to start working on. So that's really about it. We do fall under ASHP umbrella, so we do have a lot of similar strategic planning goals as ASHP, and part of that is a lot of collaborative with the state of Nevada. We will be working closely with Nevada Pharmacy Alliance and coordinating the annual meeting, so that'll work out really nicely, as it has for the past 2 years. It's an important annual meeting that every pharmacist should look at and see if there's anything they feel like they can attend and just get, obtain some CE for. The other thing that we look for as we are in our strategic planning, we will, for the annual meeting actually, is we will be looking for new board of directors. And so we're looking for individuals who are willing to volunteer their time for NVSHP and be able to commit to a year or two, depending on what position is open. I know treasurer is probably one that's going to be open. We'll have president-elect will be open. I think the others have all been.
I think maybe Director at Large for Education in the South
Yes.
is going to be open in 2024 as well. So, and I would add that the Education Director at Large, there's also a committee. So I think it was in our first episode we talked about sometimes it can be kind of scary if you've been working and kind of doing your own thing for a while to kind of think about, well, what am I going to bring or what could I add to the organization? But if you are thinking that way, first of all, you really shouldn't. Nevada is a very open state as far as welcoming. And we, unlike other states where it might be very competitive to join the board of directors in Nevada, it's a fairly open process and very welcoming regardless of qualifications or your work schedule or really any of that stuff, you know. So just like Judy, I would encourage anyone who has served in any kind of a position, maybe as a student or maybe as a resident or maybe even in your church or some local social group, like think about joining NVSHP. And if you want to start at the committee level, we are always looking for help, especially at some of our events, not just annual meeting, but we also have a resident CE and a few other things throughout the year. So it's a great way to see if maybe that's something that you're interested in.
Yes. And, you know, the other thing we're going to be really focusing on is communicating a lot of these committees that need additional help. So please look out for the emails that come from NVSHP so that you can get involved. And even if it's just one committee, a couple of meetings, that would be an incredible help. One of the reasons, and it was probably in our first episode, the reason I give back, because at some point somebody gave back for me to have a better future in pharmacy. And so I encourage people to find that passion deep from why you became a pharmacist and know that anything you do and to leave a mark to make it better is always a good thing. So if there's anything that I can encourage you to do is get involved. The future of pharmacy is not going to happen unless we do get involved. And that just means from collaboration to education to any of our legislative matters. Mm-hmm. It's really important to get involved. And like I said, we do work with Nevada Pharmacy Alliance, and they're a great group to also collaborate with. So anybody who's willing to be part of pharmacy for the future should be part of pharmacy for now. At this time. So the other thing that we will be doing for the next year is we will be having our residents, like I said earlier, our residents be involved in some educational items. The other thing I also wanted to mention is we will have we'll try to be doing a quarterly, but it might work out to about 3 for 2024, is a Nevada Directors and Leadership Breakfast. I really encourage everyone to get involved with that as well. We try to do that at a different hospital every quarter, every 2 to 3 months, and have a hospital sponsor that. And usually Adam Porth is our moderator for that. And it's really just for directors and clinical managers and leadership part of pharmacy to see what everybody's doing in the city. So, and even from the north to the south. So I would encourage everybody to get involved in those. And we'll probably be opening that up to more than just the directors and leadership. We may just open it up enough so that anybody can join just to see what hospitals are doing.
Yeah.
It's important from the retail side to the hospital side for everybody to look at pharmacy as a whole, because at the end of the day, we're all pharmacists. We just in particular like hospital, or in particular like retail, or in particular like education. So It's one of the things that Giddish, who is president-elect for 2024, will be responsible for, but I will always be there. And I actually think most of the board members, for the most part, do go to it. So that's another thing I'm encouraging as we move forward for 2024.
Yeah, those are really fun. And they're only about an hour, but I'm not in an administrative position in a hospital, but it's so interesting to be a fly on the wall and hear what they all go through. Because I think we all probably think of, the bosses, they probably just think about this, or they probably just care about that. But it is very interesting to hear them speak candidly with each other. And they there aren't a lot of directors. So like for me, there's a lot of other pharmacists that I can like vent to or be like, oh, but the directors, they don't necessarily have that. And I think NVSHP, that is another thing they value, camaraderie and misery. And misery really does love company, right?
I love that. The other thing that I want to encourage everybody for our annual meeting, we do have a couple of words that I really want our NVSHP membership to be on the lookout for in terms of if you want to do any nominations. We have the President's Award, and we also have Pharmacist of the Year Award. 2 awards that will be put out for membership to be able to vote on.
Actually, or to nominate.
To nominate, sorry.
Yes.
To nominate. And so I really encourage everybody to look at that because there are so many talented pharmacists in the city that I don't think everybody gets that fair recognition. So if there's somebody that you feel like should be nominated, please look out for that email that is sent out from NVSHP and get that nomination in. We will be soliciting those nominations probably earlier than we normally do every year so that we can get a fair amount of review for those nominations. The President's Award is actually picked by myself, and that will be actually a surprise when the annual meeting. So that's not something that goes up for a nomination, but the Pharmacist of the Year Award is a big deal. So I want everybody to really think about that. I'll be reaching out to all the directors so they have an opportunity to do some nominations. I'd really like to see us have 10 or so nominations to be able to vote from or choose from. So
that'd be so awesome, and you won Pharmacist of the Year.
I did
1 year, and then I think that kind of started your journey in NVSHP. So in some way for NVSHP, it's very strategic to try to get some new blood for Pharmacist of the Year. But I think we all probably work with a work friend or someone who, when you have to step away, that they'll cover for you and they're not going to hold anything over you, or someone you can always rely on to be like, am I crazy or is this something I need to worry about? So anyone like that, is fair game. Really, the only requirement for Pharmacist of the Year is that they're a member of NVSHP. And then in order to run for an office, you also have to be a member of NVSHP, but hopefully most of our audience are members.
For sure. And we would be happy to take your membership if you're being nominated for Pharmacist of the Year. So we'll definitely work with you on that. So I would encourage all directors and clinical and anybody who gets the membership email to do the nomination. That's a big deal for us. I think it's important to celebrate the people who do the work, and the nominations will be a big part of what we will look at for the actual awards. So, yeah. And really, if you look at our strategic planning for the year, we then kind of, after September, our annual meeting, we start to slow down a little bit, prepare for the end of the year. We go to ASHP mid-year. This next year, it is in New Orleans. So I encourage everybody who hasn't been to New Orleans and wants to go obtain some CEU to go to NVSHP in New Orleans. I'll be there. So I'd be happy to meet up for coffee if anybody wants to do that. And then we really do slow down in December, obviously, because the year starts to come to a close. We have a meeting, but mainly just to close things out and then prepare once again in January for 2025. So I'm very excited, and there will be a lot of tasks this year because we do have a lot to get done, but I think it's important for us to be organized and do that. And I'm very excited. I have such respect for the board of directors. It's a volunteer position, and we really do have a passion for making things better, and part of NVSHP is to do that. We also want to make sure that you're involved, so membership is always an ideal thing for you to think about and to get involved. And I encourage everybody to look at and as committee. I'm very excited. We're going to have a lot of fun too. This year, the actual annual meeting will be in Reno, Nevada. So if any of you like to ski, you could probably go up a couple of days before or stay that Sunday after. But it's always a nice meeting up there I'm assuming that we're probably going to have it at Renown as well, or somewhere around there. But the details will be coming out earlier than later, and I'm very excited. So I thank you all for joining us on this episode, because it's important to start the year off with a positive note, and we're really looking forward to 2024 and getting some items done for the state of Nevada.
Thanks, Judy. I really enjoyed hearing about your plans and your inaugural address.
Well, that's it for Better Left Unsaid.
Thank you to Ron Herbst from Roseman University for always his creative energy in taking on audio and video editing, as well as sound mixing. He cuts out all of our uhs and ums, so thank you, Ron. The music credit goes to Damaris Morales, Just Like a Pill by Pink.
And just one of the things I want to remind everybody is that all memberships do expire at the end of 23, or they did expire at the end of 23. There is a grace period until the end of January, so there's still time to get your membership updated.
Yep. If you're having any issues with our website, we've already gotten a few emails to NVSHP at nvshp.org. Our secretary, Kaylee, and I are, even though it's been a year, we're still learning the ropes of the website, but we'll be happy to help you troubleshoot to get your membership renewed. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time on Better Left Unsaid.